tweaking. All right. I messed around and stopped the recording. Anyway, looking at our intraday time frames, right, before we get over here into today's New York price action, just want to touch on the fact of these magical boxes right here that we drew, right? This is where price opened up last night at 6 o'clock right here, right? And this is today's price action. Okay, as you can see where we opened up at up here, right? We opened up right around this area right there, right? That's what we opened up at. All right. As you can see, this hourly BISSI and this hourly SIBI is very, very far beneath where price is right there. Okay, very, very far. All right. Now, looking at it on this time frame, just looking at these boxes, you like, Tim, that looks so vague. I don't know what you got going on. But notice what I said. These are hourly imbalances. Okay. So we jump up to the hourly time frame. All right. We can see, let me get these out of here real quick because they distracted me right now. If we jump up to the hourly time frame, right, we can see that price expanded up here, came down, paused, and then dropped, right? So that coming up here, come down, pause, and drop, right? This right here, right? That's the start of this Judas swing, right? This drop down and pop up, right? This right here is the start of that Judas swing, okay? So now this is the beginning of that Judas swing right there because we had a move, right? Yeah, you can argue, say that's where it started at, but we're coming right here, right? What do you notice about this and this, right? The amount of displacement. We can see the elephant stepped in the pool right here. And this is the first SIBI that was created as we came down right there, right? Not only that, if we look across, right, it is connected to the first BISSI of that move right there. Elephant stepping in the pool, right? That's important. Elephant stepping in the pool. That's important. The first, right? So we go up, pull back, That's the first BISSI right there. That's the first BISSI with displacement outside of this area right there. You say, Tim, well, we got a BISSI right there. Like I said, outside of this area right here. First BISSI on displacement outside of this area right here. What do we say about these V shapes right there? Who resides in this area down here? Trap traders. There are trap traders down there, right? So this is the first BISSI as we leave that area right there, right? Not only is it the first BISSI as we leave that area right there, right? This is from this low to that high right there. That's the very first BISSI created on this entire move up right there. The very first on this entire move up right there. All right? Get it? Got it? Good. Now, so we have come here into our anticipatory reactionary point, right? So since we've come into our anticipatory reactionary point, right? At an anticipatory reactionary point, what do we anticipate? Either a deeper retracement or a complete reversal, right? So if you're looking for a deeper retracement, right? What are you looking for? You're looking for price to come back where? When we're looking for deep retracements, aka we like to call them high resistance inside, when we're in ranges. But if we're looking for deep retracements, what are we looking for the algorithm to come back to? Talk to me. What do we want to see it come back to? For deep coming back to the order block, right? And what do we have right here? That's our bullish order block right, made after we trapped these traders and took off there. So if this is the order block, we're anticipating price to come back to, but remember, this is our low, this is our high, this is our order block. So if we're anticipating price to come back to the order block, what imbalances are you going to be focusing on? Are you going to be focusing on this suspension block? No. Are you going to be focusing on that BISSI? No. Are you going to be focusing on that BISSI? No. Wait a minute, Tim. That's a first. No. I'm going to be looking for it to come back to the order block. And since I'm looking for it to come back to the order block, I'm going to be looking at that first SIBI right there. Why? Because that's the inversion fair value gap that's inside of this range where the traders are trapped, right? Remember when we go up, down, up, like all that right there? There's traders trapped in here. So I want to see this area act as a mitigation block, act as a breaker block, act as whatever you want it to stop these trapped traders from getting untrapped. And this is the inversion fair value gap that's in that leg, right? So I'm looking for price to come there. If price comes there, right, I'm also looking to see, does it get supported by the first BISSI right here? Because when we came down into this first BISSI, yes, we see some, like the bodies are closing inside it, telling the story. But guess what? We're getting the discount sensitivity off of the inversion fair value gap. We're not getting the discount sensitivity off of the BISSI, right? Price is just respecting the BISSI on a closing basis, letting you know that the algorithm wants to go up, right? So as we created, trade away from it, we didn't use it, right? So when we trade away from it again, now we're looking to see if it acts as a reclaimed fair value gap. All right, so we come back down into it here, stop at consequent encroachment, trade back up, don't continue higher, right? We come back down again, right? Respect consequent encroachment, don't continue higher, come back down again, close below it, right? Creating an inversion, right? And then we come back down. I said inversion over here, but this is a reclaimed. I'm sorry, I called that inversion, but it's a reclaimed, right? Right? So we come back down into, right, the no, I was right, that's inversion, right? Came back down into the inversion fair value gap again, right? And once we hit the inversion fair value gap again, right, did not take out the sell side that was engineered, rallied back up, took out minor buy side, right? Stopped dead in its track at the previous day low, right? That's a PD array. Right? That's a PD array cause remember our, let's go there and get it. Let's go there and get it. We ain't put this up in a long time, right? Remember our handy dandy PD array matrix, right? What does that say? When you're in a sell program, when you're in a sell program and you trade back up to a premium, right? What do we have up here, right? An old high or low that you're looking to sell off of, right? When we trade back up here, we trade back up into an old low, and then price drop it like it's hot, right? Don't forget about the PD array matrix, right? So we rally back up into that old low, and then we drop back down, coming all the way back down into that inversion fair value gap. Just some old used up PD array we didn't use so many times, just so stale. Then we came back up and closed back inside the BISSI right there, and we still have not tapped into that sell side liquidity. We're just continuing to engineer liquidity. So now, right now, you can be looking at it as we have made us a smart money reversal, right? And as long as we don't take out this high right here, you can identify that we're on the right side of a market maker sell model, and you can start to target some of this sell side liquidity that's down there. But if you come down and use this area as support, and we come back up and extend that area right there, then the buy program is still intact. But since we've come to an anticipatory reactionary point, now this is the time you start looking to see if we start to invalidate buy programs, right? So this low right here, that would be boop, right there, a true market structure break that'll let you know, oh yeah, it's serious, right? This right here is just internal liquidity for that range right there. And we're engineering more and more liquidity. So if we don't take this high, right, take this liquidity, right, then that would be your low risk sale, right? If we went up and made another high here, but don't take that high, then come down and take that liquidity, that would be your low risk sale, right? So anything right here, right now, you're eyeballing that as your smart money reversal because it's happening above an old high at an anticipatory reactionary point, right? If you don't take out that high, okay, that right there, and we continue down, that would be your smart money, your low risk sale, and you know that you're on the right side of a market maker sell model, and then you'll start eyeballing some of this sell side, and then if you take out that low right here, right? You take out that low right there, right? Now you're looking to continue to target lower because we come up here to our daily time frame here, right? You want to see these PD arrays start to fail, all right? You want to see these PD arrays start to fail, and this one here, right? You want to see it be used as an inversion. Why? That's the first on this move up right here, right? Once we come below that low we talked about, right? You come there, you want to see that one be used as an inversion. That's the first on that move up there, right? If we lose that, you want to see that be used as an inversion, right? Bringing us back down because we got a very long way to get back to equilibrium of this range right here, right? And if we look at that, right? From there to there, right there, there's your equilibrium, right? For that entire range from the start after we left there, that's equilibrium. That's your order block. That's a discount, right? And that's just looking at it from the daily time frame. From starting at the intraday time frame on the 15-minute and then extrapolating it out through the daily time frame.
Let him cook! I said let him cook!
Y'all do me a favor, hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel if you ain't subscribed, and turn on all your notifications so you don't miss this good information that we sharing out here on Algo's internet. Yeah, man.